I put my phone in grayscale so I would stop using it so much. We'll see if it works. Hey, what's up? My name is Iris, if you're new here. I'm non-binary. I talk about it in my videos, but I don't make a lot of videos directly centered around gender or my sexuality. I'm acting like you're new here. Maybe you're not. Welcome back. I talk about the experience of being non-binary just like in little details throughout a lot of my videos, but I don't often do a video completely about it. So this is one of those. And I'm going to be talking about sort of body standard confusion as a non-binary person, as in how beauty standards for women, just my brain, like it does not line up. I'm not speaking for all non-binary people here. I'm just sharing my experience, so maybe you'll relate to this a little bit in some way, or maybe you won't relate at all. This video is also not scripted really at all, so wish me luck. So first let me talk about my own body shape. I'm kind of talking about body shape in this video rather than whatever beauty stuff, face stuff. I am a pretty tall and thin person. I don't really have wide hips. I have kind of deceptively large boobs, like boobs. I'll just show you my boobs really fast. They're not easy to hide under clothing, but they're also not extremely difficult to hide under clothing. Like I have to be intentional about it when I want to, but I can kind of do it. I have a video of trying on a binder for the first time on my channel, and that was a really big experience for me. I'm gonna do a video comparing a compression top to a binder. The problem is I accidentally got the wrong size of compression top, which I'm really annoyed about. So it's gonna be a while. So that is my body shape. I'm also really tall, which I wasn't necessarily self-conscious of when I was younger, but it definitely did make me feel like I was different from the other girls, and that could have like really gotten mixed up with my gender identity too. Yeah, I just feel like very, very different from short girls. That's always the category of people that I'm just like, I am not like you. That is me. I'm 5'9" for height reference. So not extremely tall, but also tall. So they're like body trends, I guess. Like if we think about like hourglass figure, BBL stuff, where you want to have that, you got your boobs, you got a tiny waist, and then you have like big hips and butt, like that kind of body standard, which I guess has been like in a way. People have talked about the way that beauty standards have like trend cycles, but I'm not here to talk about that because I honestly don't really know anything about that. I haven't done my research besides just like existing as somebody with an assigned female birth body. Basically just what I wanted to acknowledge and say is that with like the hourglass figure body shape, I have pretty much like never ever wanted that for myself. And I feel like I've seen a lot of like women specifically go out and like seek to go to the gym, like get a bigger butt, slim down their waist or whatever, and that has never been appealing to me. And I was thinking about it and I was thinking, could it very possibly be because curves are a big gender marker? And actively trying to like get that kind of figure and having like hips would mean that I would have a lot more gender marking than I currently do, because I'm aligned, which is kind of a blessing to me because it means I'm like a little bit more able to pass as like maybe a dude sometimes, because I don't really have really big gender markers. Like the biggest gender marker that I have are my boobs. It is important to note how like hips are a big part of gender marking, just shape wise, body shape wise, like this being woman and this being man.
I kind of didn't describe this in the best way, so I'm gonna say it now. I think that female beauty standards, body standards, are alienating not only to non-binary people like myself, but to everybody, because we don't all have the same kinds of bodies. So any beauty standard, any body standard is gonna be alienating to somebody. And that sucks a lot. But I guess in this video I was just trying to talk about like context of like how I've never actually really desired to fall into the beauty standard besides like thinness, which I talk about in a second. So yeah,
but I've never like desired to fall into the category of womanhood that is that shape. I've noticed that I'm not in that category, but I've never been like, I want a bigger butt or something like this. I have a very flat ass. Never have I wanted to be like, yeah, I could really use a bigger butt. I don't know where I'm going with this conversation, to be honest. Like, does this resonate? But like another thing is like, I kind of fall into like the standard of androgyny. My understanding of what like the ideal androgynous body is assigned male at birth, skinny, and white. You have a man. a man who clearly presents as a man and he wears like feminine clothing in some way, maybe it's like a lacy tank top, maybe it's a skirt, maybe it's a dress, that is going to be seen as subverting gender norms. But when you have somebody who presents maybe as a woman who wears male clothing, that isn't going to be seen as obviously as subverting gender norms. You hear what I'm saying? It's a lot more acceptable for women to wear men's clothing than it is for men to wear women's clothing, and therefore men wearing women's clothing sticks out like a sore thumb. And androgyny is kind of like, by definition, it's a combination of masculine and feminine elements, but people don't really see or accept it unless it looks like this one very specific idea of what androgyny is. I was talking about butts and now I'm here. Basically, all that to say, I have never really felt like I wanted the ideal female body, besides just like wanting to be really skinny. But I think that is part of the andro ideal as well. I don't really know where it's coming from, truthfully. One thing I've heard from various like commenters is like talking about being plus size and being unable to feel like clothing looks androgynous on them. It's probably because people with bigger boobs and hips have a harder time basically eliminating gender markers, whereas like really thin people with small boobs have a lot easier time eliminating gender markers, and how you're perceived really matters, and how you look at yourself and see yourself really matters. And when that idea is completely constructed by a society outside of your control, you know, you don't have control over the way you perceive yourself, pretty much. It takes a lot of thinking really hard, and sometimes that can't even change it. Like, you are not at fault for the way that you were raised, basically. Getting nervous. I feel like I've said so much and so little. I think I always fear like not making someone feel heard, but the reality is like I can't really speak to any experiences that aren't my own. So if you would like to share, feel free to comment. Like, I don't want to make people feel unseen by sharing the details of my experience, and I also don't want to speak for other people. So, you know, it's kind of tricky sometimes. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I only had very little to say, which is that I've never wanted an hourglass figure, even though that's been in for the past like 5 years. And I think it's because I'm non-binary. And also because I think I've like never realistically seen my body in that kind of form. Like, that has never been a realistic option for me, because that's not what my body shape is. So it's possible that has also played into it, where it's just like I'm aware that my body is just not gonna look like that if I try to change it. So why would I want to do that? I feel luckily like I have been able to not be super brainwashed and invested in beauty standards as a whole a lot of the time. Okay, my camera's dying, as it always does, because I'm a poor planner. Actually, that's a lie. That has only happened with the last 2 videos, and it's because I planned to plug in my camera and then I didn't because I forgot. Please comment your thoughts, because I want to hear what you think, because I already know what I think. Okay! Oh, you know what else I wanted to say? My camera's gonna die in the middle of me saying this. I also haven't really been invested in fashion trends that go around online, because they happen in, like, girl communities. What is the word? These trends are popular among women, and therefore, like, I'm not really engaged in that. It's very woman to me, and therefore I'm like, I'm learning. I just bought a dress and this Barbie shirt. So, girly era. My hair is longer, that's why. Deadass. Okay, bye!